Hey guys, Steve here. Today we're going to talk about a life hack for weight control. We're going to put behind all the ideas of lap band surgeries and liposuctions, working it off after the fact in the gym, dieting it off after the fact, or even suffering through it to not put it on in the first place by suffering through diets. Let's talk about changing the game. Let's talk about taking it to another level. Let's talk about training our brains out of hunger. What is hunger? We can teach ourselves that message is but a message from our stomachs to our brains that's interpreted as hunger. We can teach ourselves that's a blind message. That's an ignorant message. It only knows if our stomachs are full or empty. It doesn't know if we have stored food, stored body fat on us or not, or what our goals are. It only knows one thing. It's a really ignorant, simple message. Once we train ourselves on that concept, we educate ourselves on that, and then if we can also separate ourselves, cutting the umbilical cord from food a bit by doing fasts periodically. I'm not a doctor. I suggest you find a program, a fast that you like, but if you haven't done one, I suggest them. It's a great way, among the other benefits, of cutting that umbilical cord with food. Once you see that you can go for a couple of days or even a week or more and still be at the gym, still be working out, still be functioning at a high level, we realize that we don't need food on any given moment like we think we do. And therefore, when we feel that message of hunger, we don't need to instantly start searching our brains for what will be that next food, that next thing that satisfies that need, because we're obeying our hunger on that level. Once we've cut that umbilical cord, once we've trained our brains, those are just educating ourselves on those facts. But then we can actively train our brains as well. When that message comes, that moment, the very instant that hunger message comes and we realize, oh, what is that? What's that? That moment, every time, let's tell ourselves, let's recognize this, let's actually look down at our stomachs, pinch our belly fat, feel it, see it, think about it. How much belly fat do I have and how much belly fat do I want? Or it's just a representation of the total body fat, of course, but as a reference point. See it, feel it, touch it, think about it, recognize that it's fake news. It's just a message from our stomachs that doesn't get what our brains are after, our body fat goals are. It doesn't understand anything but its own needs. And so, on every single time, if we train ourselves, if we think about that for a split second, even if we continue on to the refrigerator and satisfy that hunger, satisfy that need that our stomachs are demanding from us, little by little, we're going to be training ourselves that message is fake. That message is not based on information more than our brains can provide, but just looking and feeling. Once that message is defeated, we literally can get over the hump of hunger. Stop feeling hunger, literally. I still get hungry, for example. I can still feel hungry, but it's not like, it's not hunger. It's not like that. I can go for days without thinking about hunger. Sometimes I feel something in my stomach, and I think, am I getting, maybe the last thing I ate isn't sitting with me well. And I think about it, it's been like a day and a half since I've had much of anything to eat. That might be hunger. That's how foreign hunger can be, and that puts you in complete control, cutting that umbilical cord completely. Now we're free to eat what we want to eat, what's healthy, when we eat. How many times do we eat something, we eat fast food because we needed to fill ourselves and go on the run? We don't need food like that. Once we cut that need, that cycle, that filling of that process every time that we feel that sensation of hunger, we have to fill it. Let's not even feel the sensation of hunger. We'll defeat that before it even becomes hunger and never even get there. So that's my life hack. That's my life hack on hunger and maintaining body fat control. I'm just in process. This is me still on the way down, so don't pay too much attention to this. But yeah, check back with me another handful of months. This last year and a half or so has been just every day a little bit leaner, with no effort, chips and salsa and beer. But obviously, gym is, I'm not saying that gym and a healthy appetite, a healthy diet, everything else is absolutely important. But we've got to defeat this issue before it even becomes an issue. Let's hack this concept of hunger in our own brains. All right, that's my advice on hunger. Let me know. I'm hoping that it took me about 3 years probably before I crossed over this hump. I'm hoping, I didn't know it was possible. So I'm hoping that sharing this with you, I'm hoping that perhaps knowing that it's possible and maybe having a little bit of a guideline for it, maybe you can do it faster. So I hope you guys leave comments below and let me know what your experience is with the idea of conquering hunger in our own brains before it is even hunger. Alright? Peace, guys.